absolutely love the holidays, but as someone who does separate meals with divorced parents and in-laws, prepping food for multiple gatherings can be stressful and time-consuming.
I hear you. So our next guest says the key is make ahead sides that get you ready to go in advance. So please welcome the host of Comfort Food, Chef Spencer Watts is back.
Hey, hi, thanks.
My first question, did you get an easy bake oven as a kid?
I did not, but I grew up with food and being in the kitchen, so it was part of like product of environment, watching my dad make crabs and going, I want to do that too,
I want to do that
right?
too. That's beautiful.
All right, so before we dive into this delicious food, let's talk about Comfort Food. You just wrapped the season finale. Talk to the people about it.
Thank you. Well, Comfort Food is a delicious show, and Comfort Food is grounded in nostalgia and memory, and we celebrate that. And you know what makes Comfort Food really special is we also let you in on the behind-the-scenes action, so you can see how a cooking show gets made. From porchetta to popcorn cake, we do it all, and we have a lot of fun making it.
Oh my God, well now let's dig into your comforting holiday sides.
Let's do it.
Starting with this red cabbage tart. And can I just say a fun fact? I love red cabbage.
You
I love
do?
cabbage, but it's seldom used.
Yes.
So tell us all about this.
And everyone who has a family member or friends who are vegetarian, this was a great way to get veg on the table. And they're so versatile. You can do it with root veg, asparagus. This one has braised red cabbage in it with red vinegar and maple, and then a royale with gorgonzola that's baked into it. And it's super delicious and super easy to make.
And so rich.
It's good.
Wow. So
and
good.
tangy and sweet. It's got it all.
So what are the tips and tricks to making this dish?
Well, you know, the great thing about the cabbage is you can cook it a day ahead of time. You can make the royale, which is a luxurious blend of cream and eggs and cheese, a couple days ahead of time, and put it in the pastry shell and cook it. Or you can just make the whole pie a day ahead of time, and then when you want to eat it, just reserve it.
It is
So good. I can't
it's
stop eating
heavy.
it.
It's got,
It's got some base.
you know.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next dish. This is whipped scalloped potatoes gratin.
Good for you.
Like très
So
fancy.
tell me, why is this a great make-ahead dish, though?
Well, this is better if you make it before. If you make it a couple days before, it has time to set up. All the flavors can bloom and give each other a big hug, and then you just simply reheat it. And I love mashed potatoes and scallop potatoes, so it's a little bit of both. Mash on the bottom, scallop on the top. It's dynamite.
Potatoes are my favorite food, especially mashed potatoes, and these mashed potatoes are so good.
Yeah.
But not every, I feel like mashed potatoes don't always turn out, even for me who makes them all the time, the same way every time. What are the tips?
Well, potato selection.
Yeah.
Mash works really good with a starchy potato like a russet or a Yukon Gold. It cooks quick, it breaks down, and they become fluffy and light as air. I like to bring the potatoes up together and then don't undercook the potatoes. That's when they get lumpy.
That's what it is.
I prefer to overcook it a little bit and then add warm fat to it and whip it up. Right potato, you know, don't undercook it. Whip it real good.
You have
So good.
Okay, so I think I can handle mashed potatoes, but scallop potatoes, I will not attempt because I'm afraid I'm gonna mess it up. So how can I attempt this one?
You know, sometimes they're made with just milk and it can be a little bit runny. I like to use a thicker sauce, like a bechamel or an Alfredo. And don't put too much cheese in it. My dad always puts it needs more cheese. Like, Dad, it doesn't. And it can make them really greasy. So limit your cheese and use like a nice thick cream sauce to bake it. And make it ahead of time. It'll be way better.
I love that.
I want to put my face in this, but I won't. I want to. So hard for me. Okay, so next you've got a Moroccan kale Caesar salad that you say is perfect for a holiday feast. So why is this a great winter salad for a side?
I think the kale is a really good lettuce because it holds on to a lot of flavor, and that flavor comes from the dressing, and it kickstarts the flavor engagement in your mouth, and it makes you hungry. I can smell it sitting here. And then, you know, what makes it fun is the nuts on top and the craisins and the feta cheese and the harissa hummus. It's kind of festive, and it's a good way to kickstart the meal and get you hungry.
This is delicious.
So good.
Oh my gosh.
Why is hummus something good to make ahead?
Well, it's really good to make ahead because it's super simple and it's only a few things. So like chickpeas, olive oil, lemon, garlic, salt, and then just puree it, and it gets really nice and smooth and creamy, and it's easy to make ahead and easy to plate it.
What are your tips for presenting this dish so beautifully?
Negative space. You want a lot of surface area so you can see the beautiful things, and I like the contrast of the white plate and the green salad, and then that swipe of the harissa hummus has its own real estate. And then my little tip is put the garnishes on after. So dress the salad, get the
that's
salad
nice.
done, and then load it with the toppings so it's like very crunchy and has like a valley of texture to the
This
top.
dressing is so good.
I know
It's so
everything
powerful.
so far has been so good, but the next one, oh my gosh, I had to remind myself we're on
You already
camera.
started eating.
All right, we're talking about maple buttermilk corn pudding.
Yes.
Sounds delicious. How
So
did you
good.
make this?
So it's really simple. If you like cornbread, you're gonna like corn pudding. Blended corn with butter and buttermilk and a little bit of baking powder, and then baked it with eggs. It's almost like a custard,
wow.
like a soft sweet corn custard with maple syrup, the buttermilk, and a good kick of salt. It's super delicious and violently tasty.
Oh my God.
It's violently tasty. You're like,
It is.
a bite of the Caesar and the pudding, and you're like, okay, we're having dinner.
We're convulsing
Yeah.
right now over here.
Yeah.
Okay, so once you made the corn pudding, though, then you added squash to it?
Yeah, so I cook the squash with brown butter. Brown butter is just made by taking butter past the boiling point, and the milk solid starts to toast, and you get this really like caramelly butter flavor, and then maple syrup, and then roast that off, put it on top of the corn pudding with fried sage, and off you go.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. All right, whoever is in the kitchen this holiday season, you need to try all of these. These were all individually spectacular.
I almost cleaned my plate.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Spencer, thank you so much for bringing this.
Thank you, ladies.
Phenomenal.
Thank you, dear.
Hey there, what did you think? Drop your comments below and join the conversation. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you can find more on everything from food and fashion to pop culture and current events. See you soon.